affirmative votes that we require to pass any action. So, before we get to the end of each of the, the respective applications, based on the feedback that you get or not from the commission, I will give you the opportunity to ask to have it continued to the next meeting, just in the hope that more people will be here if there's, a sense that, you have no opportunity to get 5 affirmative votes, just basically out of fairness. Item number 3.3, the Charles, 161 Main Street. We will not be hearing that tonight. That is being tabled to the April 2nd meeting. So if you're here for that, you can either stay or go, but we won't be hearing that application tonight. That leaves one other item that is a public hearing. The way the public hearing works is we have the applicant come forward, identify themselves by the name and address for the record, make a presentation on what it is they want to do. There'll be some back and forth with the commission. Following that, we'll open it up to any members of the public who might be here who have questions or comments about the application. Following that, we'll ask the applicant to come back up and respond to any of those comments or questions. And if the commission feels we have enough information to make a decision, we'll close the hearing and deliberate and make a decision. If we don't think we have enough information, or there are open questions or things that still need to be ironed out, we may continue the public hearing. That only applies to one of these. 2 of the other ones are, just site plan, which will be, essentially comments only from the applicant back and forth with the commission. So it should be a little quicker. First item on the agenda is 3.1, the fiscal year 25 capital improvement project recommendations. Do you want to come up, just introduce yourself to the people who don't know you, and let us know what great plans you have.
Good evening. My name is Vlada Shelkova. I'm the Capital Improvements Project Administrator for the town of Wethersfield. I'm here to talk to you about the process that we went through with the Capital Improvements Advisory Committee this year with the projects that were submitted by department heads for project consideration. So I know in years past you've gone through in detail perhaps the top 18 or some odd ranked items. This year the committee was asked to actually prioritize and rank all of the items that were submitted, so that's why you have the full list in front of you today. The council had guided the committee to do it this way, just so that they could see the full list of items and be able to allocate funding to all items on the list. There were several items that the committee chose not to rank. Those were the miscellaneous grant match, the XL portable radios, the Board of Education radios, Board of Education classroom furniture replacements, and the Silestein Highway parking lot reconstruction. There were several different reasons for that. I had provided the sheet for why they didn't rank them. I can talk about that in a little bit more detail if you have questions, or if you'd like for me to give an overview, let me know. And there was also one item that was combined, and those were the masonry items. They were initially submitted by 3 different departments, but the committee asked that they were all combined into one, and that item is for materials for the masons to be able to do various projects around town. And then I just wanted to kind of open it up to questions for you if you had any about any specific items, since you have the order of rankings and their narrative descriptions.
Do you know how much money you're going to get?
So we don't know this year. I know it's in years past, it's been around 1.2 million or maybe down to 900,000. We weren't given a number this year, so that's why the committee was asked to rank all of the items. But if we are given about, let's say 1.2 or so million.
You basically get to the first page if you like.
Exactly,
Fair enough, okay.
yeah.
Yeah, personally, I like the kind of easy-to-follow format. In past years, we've had excruciating levels of detail, and then it was kind of, when I first got on here, it was like 10-year plans,
And we still have those.
yeah, I mean, and there weren't enough columns that you could even print on the page to
Yeah.
follow.
Well, you know, with the 10-year plans, even if we have them, they would fluctuate since at this point, the town council hasn't seen the items yet, so they'll have final review of what actually gets funded. So even having the 10-year plans, that's not really indicative what truly moves forward year after year. So I think this speaks to it on a fiscal year to fiscal year basis a little bit more clearly, and then we see which items kind of fall where they are. And what might move forward if things don't get necessarily funded this year.
Yeah, I mean, I guess where I was going with that was that, you know, we kind of scaled back to a 5-year plan, but it also included things that anticipated to be funded by grants, things that were anticipated to be funded through bonding and so forth. So, you know, we could kind of see more of the picture rather than, you know, what's on fire this year that we actually need to, you know, either fix or replace. You know, the 700-pound elephant of, you know, what's going to happen with the elementary schools is not on here really, other than, you know, the first priority is fixing something that should have been done many years ago. But I guess playing off that, one of the things that I think had come up in the conversation about the elementary school renovations and so forth was that, you know, in 2018, there was a study done that showed kind of 3 different levels of either maintenance, repair, or, you know, improvement that needed to be done, and that in the kind of immediate need, there was, you know, some number of million, and then in the next one, and so forth. And I was just wondering if, you know, knowing that there is uncertainty about what bonding proposal, if any, is going to be presented and approved by the voters, what the committee's thoughts were with respect to the items that were on that list, because I know, you know, things like the Hanmer boilers we've done parts of the roof, we've done the portables, but, you know, there's a lot of stuff that's not on here that, you know, regardless of whether 10 years from now we have a couple of new schools, will, you know, really need to be done. So do you have any insights on that?
My understanding is that we're still waiting to see what happens with the larger plan for the schools being rebuilt. So the feeling was, I believe, from both the committee and the departments that they were apprehensive to submit items perhaps for the schools while we're waiting to see what that plan looks like. I know that there were some items submitted. I can't speak to the 2018 document. I don't believe I've seen that. I've seen a 2018 or 19 document for Silas Dean Middle School.
No, it was Cushman and Wakefield, and it was like 30 pages long.
Okay, I'll look into that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that, and that particular document did not come up during this discussion, but I do know that the Board of Ed and town representatives are meeting, or have been meeting, to discuss the larger plan for the elementary schools. I'm not quite sure where that is right now in discussions, but I will be curious myself to see for what goes up for bonding next year and what the plan will be there.
Yeah, well, that's a fair answer. I mean, and, you know, regardless of what happens, I think, you know, the expectation was that Highcrest was going to be used as a swing space for other schools that were under renovation, even while a new one is being built. So, you know, you got to make the roofs last at least 11 more years. Maybe you don't need to buy 50-year shingles for a building you're going to tear down in 10. But,
Right.
you know, you can't continue to have the buckets there. Dave?
Yeah, the town, chiller replacement for town hall. I mean, I know time goes by fast, but that should be relatively new, right? Number 9? Was that done when the building was done?
I
Maybe
don't.
They skipped it, you don't know.
I don't know. I think the.
You weren't on that one?
I wasn't
What?
here.
You weren't
but,
on that
I
one?
wasn't on that one, no.
I believe the renovation was in 2006, 7, or 8, somewhere around there between the high school, or I'm sorry, the library and town hall, but I'm not sure if the chiller was part of that or not. I can find out if you'd like.
It's hard to believe.
No, I think it was around then, yeah.
It's a long time ago.
Tom, did
Yeah,
you?
to my knowledge, it's around 2005, thereabouts.
Yeah,
When the town hall was done, huh?
yeah. All right. Anybody else have any questions on this?
Wait, one last thing.
Sure.
All this not free money that the infrastructure bill, did that knock off a lot of stuff on the list of last year? All that, like.
Which projects would you be referring
All that free
to?
ride money that really isn't free that the town got.
The ARPA money?
Yeah, did that knock a lot of stuff off the list?
It did. I have the list from last year that the ARPA money had.
So at that point, that's all gone, other than the possible soccer field stuff, right? Pretty much done.
So the way that the ARPA funding works is that it needs to be allocated by the end of 2024, which it was last October by the previous council. I believe it's a possibility that a few items could be reallocated, given that we have a new council. I'm not sure if they will be or not, but that's a possibility since we have until 2024 to make those decisions. The funding does have to be spent by the end of 2026, given that it's allocated by the end of '24. So as of right now, it has been allocated. Not all of those projects have been completed as of yet. So that's where that stands.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments? All right, if not, I think they're looking for a positive recommendation under 824.
Make a motion that I have a positive recommendation.
Second.
All right. Any further discussion? If not, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Thank you very much. All right. Item 3.2, application 2171-24Z, Mark Justice seeking a site plan and design review in accordance with section 5.2 permitted principal uses of the Wethersfield Zoning Regulations to operate a sit-down or take-out restaurant at 1862 Berlin Turnpike.